The new year was supposed to be a fresh start, but this time it brought a big surprise. The doorbell rang, breaking the quiet of my cozy home. I thought it might be a neighbor or a delivery person, so I opened the door casually, but I felt like my heart sank when I saw who was there. My sister Claire, who I hadn't wanted to see, and my ex-husband Ethan. Claire had her usual smug smile, looking almost proud next to Ethan. Seeing Ethan was like reopening an old wound. He looked arrogant and pretended to feel sorry. It had been 3 years since I'd seen them, and here they were, acting like nothing had happened. "Why are you here?" I asked, my voice trembling with shock. Claire laughed annoyingly. "Oh, look at that, Ethan." She's speechless. "What's wrong, Anna? Not happy to see your dear sister and loving ex-husband?" Ethan leaned against the doorframe, glancing around the room. "Yeah, Anna, we just thought we'd drop by, see how things are without us." I clenched my fists, trying hard not to slam the door on them. "This isn't your place anymore, Ethan. And you, Claire, shouldn't be here either." But they just smirked, unfazed by my attempt to stand up to them. Then Ethan said something that felt like a punch in the gut. "You know, Anna, I regret ever being with you. What a waste of my best years." Claire joined in, pretending to sympathize. Poor Anna, always falling short, even in marriage. Their mean words hurt, but before I could respond, another voice interrupted us. "Who's there, Anna?" It was my dad, George, who I wasn't expecting until later. Claire and Ethan looked surprised to see him, and their smirks disappeared as they shifted uncomfortably. "Dad, you're home early," I said, feeling relieved. George looked at the scene with narrowed eyes. "CLA, Ethan, what are you doing here?" Their confidence vanished under George's stern gaze. There was a tense silence. Claire finally spoke up. We just wanted to wish Anna a happy new year." George was skeptical. "Really? After all this time, you suddenly remember family on New Year's?" His tone was cold, hinting at hidden anger and disappointment. Ethan tried to regain control. "We also have some news, but maybe now's not the time." I knew their visit wasn't just about New Year's greetings. Their sudden arrival, smirks, and insults were all too familiar. A cycle of lies and manipulation. But I wasn't the same person they left behind. As they left awkwardly, promising to come back another time, I closed the door, feeling both relieved and anxious. Their return meant trouble, and this time, I had to be ready. After Claire and Ethan left, the house felt eerily quiet. My dad, George, sat opposite me, his face creased with worry. "Anna, what was that about? Why are they back?" I sighed, feeling the weight of old memories. "I'm not sure, Dad, but with Claire and Ethan, there's always a motive." George nodded grimly. "I remember how it all ended, how they hurt you. You owe them nothing, Anna." His support was comforting, but there was a part of the story he didn't fully grasp. The depth of Claire's manipulation. It dated back to our childhood, a time that should have been carefree but was overshadowed by Claire's selfishness. "Dad, remember my 10th birthday? Grandma's porcelain doll?" I asked, my voice tinged with sadness. George's face softened. "Of course, you cherished that doll." I nodded, the memory vivid. "Claire broke it on purpose, then blamed me. She cried to Mom, saying it was an accident caused by me." George looked surprised. "I never knew that. Your mother always thought it was an accident." "That was just the start," I said, feeling the pain of old memories. "Claire always acted innocent, and I got blamed. She knew how to trick everyone around her." I saw regret in George's eyes, realizing what he hadn't seen before. "I'm sorry, Anna. I should have seen it." "It's not your fault," Dad said, his voice filled with regret. "We were all fooled by Claire," I replied, taking a deep breath. "Even with Ethan, she played us both. They deserve each other." George reached for my hand, offering comfort. "What matters is you're away from their drama now. Don't let them pull you back in." I nodded, trying to force a smile. Talking with Dad reminded me that the past wasn't forgotten. Claire and Ethan's visit wasn't just casual. It hinted at more trouble ahead. That night, I couldn't sleep. Memories of Claire's schemes, how she always seemed better than me in our parents' eyes, how she effortlessly won Ethan over. It all haunted me. Her return meant trouble, and I felt a growing sense of dread. But amid the chaos in my mind, I started to feel determined. I wouldn't be a victim again. I'd confront Claire and Ethan. Whatever they were planning, I was ready to fight back. In the days after Claire and Ethan's visit, Their words and smirks kept replaying in my mind. I threw myself into work, hoping to distract myself, but the past wouldn't let go. Remembering my marriage to Ethan, once filled with love, now felt like walking on thorns. It all started wonderfully. Ethan was charming, attentive, everything I thought I wanted. We were happy, or so I thought. But then things changed. Late nights, excuses, and avoiding my questions. I trusted him, ignoring my doubts and gut feelings. Then, one day, everything became clear. I came home early from a trip, excited to surprise Ethan. But I was the one surprised. I found Ethan and Claire together, laughing in our living room. It was a moment that shattered my world. The confrontation was a blur of tears, accusations, and painful truths. Claire showed no remorse, simply shrugging off my pain. "You were always too focused on work, Anna. Ethan needed someone, and I was there. It's not our fault he lost interest in you." Ethan's words were just as hurtful. "I thought I loved you, Anna, but Claire is different, more exciting. We were never right for each other." Their betrayal cut me deeply, shattering my heart and trust. The divorce was swift, with Ethan and Claire flaunting their relationship. I was left to piece together my shattered life, feeling foolish and betrayed. Sitting in my office, memories swirled, igniting anger within me. How dare they come back after what they did? How dare they disrupt my peace? But it wasn't just anger. It was a burning need for justice. I wanted them to feel a fraction of the pain they caused. Revenge, once repulsive, now seemed like the only way to close this chapter. I've decided. I'll confront them, demand answers, but I won't be the heartbroken wife this time. I'll be strong. They underestimated me once. They won't again. I dialed Ethan's number, my voice steady, my resolve unshakable. "Ethan, we need to talk. Meet me at the cafe on 5th Street tomorrow at noon." His surprise stammer was a small victory. "Sure, Anna. Tomorrow," he replied before the call ended. For the first time in days, I felt in control. The game had begun, and this time I was playing to win. The next day, the cafe was bustling. I spotted Ethan at a corner table, looking tense. His attempted smile didn't reach his eyes. "Anna, thanks for coming." "I wasn't sure you want to see me," he said, sounding unsure. "I don't," I replied sharply, sitting across from him. "But I need answers. Why are you and Claire back in my life?" Ethan squirmed. "Things haven't been great for us after we left. We've had some tough times." I felt a bitter satisfaction seeing him uneasy. "Tough times? You expect sympathy from me?" No, of course not," he stammered. "It's just that Claire is pregnant. We thought it's time to mend fences, for the sake of family." His words hit me hard. "Claire pregnant?" I felt a twinge of hurt, but skepticism took over. "And you expect me to what? Forgive you just like that?" I asked, my voice filled with disbelief. "It's not just that, Anna," Ethan said, avoiding my gaze. "There's the matter of your father's estate." So that was it, the real reason behind their sudden return. It wasn't remorse or reconciliation. It was greed. "You have some nerve, Ethan. You cheat, you leave, and now you come back for money." I felt my anger boiling over, my voice rising in the crowded cafe. "People can change, Anna. We've been through a lot. We just want a chance to start over, to be a family," he pleaded. "A family built on lies and deceit." I shot back, my heart pounding with anger. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Claire. "We need to talk. Alone. My place. Tonight." I glanced at Ethan, my mind made up. "Tell Claire I'll see her tonight. But understand, Ethan, this isn't a family reunion. This is me settling the score." Ethan looked taken aback as I stood to leave. I felt a strange sense of power. I'd been their victim for too long. But now, things were changing. I walked out, leaving Ethan behind, my mind racing. Tonight's meeting with Claire wouldn't just be a talk. It would be the start of my revenge, a chance to reclaim my dignity and make them regret crossing me. Leaving Ethan behind at the cafe left me with a whirlwind of emotions: anger, betrayal, and a newfound determination. Driving home, my mind buzzed with plans for confronting Claire later. I needed to brace myself against her manipulative ways. As evening approached, I stood in front of my mirror, mentally preparing. I saw a different woman from the one who once fell for Ethan or got overshadowed by Claire. Tonight, I was ready to face my past head-on. Claire's house was a sharp contrast to mine. Flashy, extravagant, a symbol of her and Ethan's shallow values. I knocked on the door, my heart racing but my resolve strong. When Claire opened it, she looked as poised and arrogant as ever. "Anna, come in. I'm glad you could make it." Her tone dripped with condescension, as if inviting me in was some kind of favor. Stepping inside, I took in the extravagant decor. "So Claire, why am I here? What do you want from me?" I asked, cutting to the chase. Claire led me to the living room, her movements graceful yet calculated. "I wanted to talk to you, sister to sister. It's been too long, and with the baby coming, I thought it's time we bury the hatchet." I almost laughed at her audacity. Bury the hatchet? After you stole my husband and now come back for my father's inheritance? Claire's expression hardened briefly before she composed herself. "Anna, let's be practical. Ethan and I need financial stability for our child. Your father's estate can help with that." Her greed was clear. "You expect me to just hand over what's rightfully mine after everything you've done?" "It's not just about the money, Anna," Claire said, falsely sincere. "It's about family. We're still sisters, after all." I stared at her in disbelief. "You lost the right to call me sister when you betrayed me." There was a heavy silence between us, tension thick in the air. Then Claire's mask slipped, revealing her true nature. "Fine. If you're going to be selfish, let's talk legalities. Dad's will favors the first grandchild. My baby will secure the inheritance for Ethan and me." Her words hit me hard. This was her plan, to use her pregnancy to manipulate our father's will in her favor. "You're unbelievable, Claire. You think you can manipulate everyone to get what you want?" "Not this time. I won't let you," I said firmly. Claire smirked, her eyes cold and calculating. "We'll see, Anna. We'll see how long you can keep up this act," she sneered. I turned to leave, my mind spinning. Driving away, a plan began to form. Claire and Ethan were playing a dangerous game, but now I knew the rules. It was time for them to realize I wasn't just a pawn in their twisted game. The days after my confrontation with Claire were filled with intense preparation for the looming legal battle over my father's estate. I sought out legal advice, determined to safeguard what was rightfully mine and my father's legacy from Claire and Ethan's greed. As I delved into the legal details, shocking news reached me. Ethan's business, once touted with confidence, had collapsed. They were drowning in debt, unable to sustain their lavish lifestyle. This revelation shed light on their sudden return and their desperation for the inheritance. Meeting with my lawyer, Miss Harper, we discussed our strategy. "They're financially and legally trapped," she noted, examining the documents. "Your sister's claim about the will doesn't hold up legally. We can challenge it." Miss Harper's confidence was reassuring, but I knew Claire and Ethan wouldn't give up easily. They were like cornered animals, unpredictable and dangerous. My resolve was tested sooner than I anticipated. One evening, returning home from work, I found Claire waiting on my doorstep, her expression a mix of defiance and desperation. "Anna, we need to talk," she said, her voice shaky. "I have nothing to say to you, Claire. This matter is with the lawyers now," I replied, trying to pass by her. She stepped forward, blocking my path. "Please, Anna. I'm not pregnant. It was a lie, a plan Ethan and I made to influence Dad's will." Her confession, though shocking, didn't surprise me. It was just another deceit in their long list. "So you've been lying all this time. What now, Claire? Ready to give up?" I asked coldly. Claire's eyes filled with tears, but they didn't sway me. "I don't know what to do. Ethan's business is ruined. We're losing everything. I need your help, Anna." Her plea for help, after all they'd done, was almost laughable. "You want my help after everything you've done? You're delusional," I said, pulling away from her. "The sister I knew died when you betrayed me. You made your choice, Claire. Live with it." Leaving Claire alone, I entered my house, closing the door on her and our past. It felt liberating. I was free from our toxic relationship. That night, in the quiet of my living room, I realized this was more than an inheritance battle. It was about my liberation, closing the chapter on Claire and Ethan's treachery and moving on. The following weeks were a whirlwind of legal battles. Claire and Ethan's desperation grew as their financial troubles mounted. Despite it all, I remained strong, with Miss Harper's help and my newfound resolve. The day of the court hearing arrived. the atmosphere tense and charged. The courtroom was cold, contrasting sharply with the simmering emotions within. Ethan and Claire sat together, trying to maintain a facade of unity, but their strained appearances betrayed their true feelings. As the proceedings began, Miss Harper skillfully dismantled each of their arguments. Claire's lie about her pregnancy was exposed, further weakening their case. I watched Claire as the reality sank in. The confident, manipulative sister I once knew was gone, replaced by someone consumed by the consequences of her actions. During a recess, Claire approached me, desperation in her eyes. "Anna, please. I know I don't deserve your mercy, but we're ruined. We have nothing." Her words, once persuasive, now had no effect on me. "You brought this upon yourselves, Claire. You chose greed and deceit, and now you must face the consequences." The final judgment was a clear win for me. The judge ruled in my favor, ensuring that the inheritance rightfully stayed with me. Claire and Ethan left the courtroom defeated, their schemes crumbling. But as I walked out, a sense of closure washed over me. This wasn't just a legal win. It was a personal victory over my past demons. Claire and Ethan's downfall was the justice they deserved. But for me, it marked a new beginning, free from the pain they caused. In the days that followed, I focused on rebuilding my life, leaving behind the shadows of Claire and Ethan. The scar they left would always be a part of me, but it no longer controlled me. I had become stronger, more resilient, and had a better understanding of myself and my values. As I sat in my garden one evening, watching the sunset, I understood that real victory wasn't in revenge or the pain of those who hurt me. It was in the peace and inner strength I discovered, the power to move on and embrace new beginnings.